Right now we're probably about 4 miles from town. Okay, this is the edge of the Polonia. Normally this would be either west of here or further out, like 20, 30 miles, whatever. But past few years, or this has been happening, opening up closer to the shore. Reasons we don't understand, probably global warming. But we can't travel like we used to long ago. We more or less have to hug the shoreline. And even this ice, the landfast ice, is not as thick as it should be. Normally this time of year. It's still wet because of salt water.
What do you mean?
Salt water takes a long time to freeze, not like fresh water.
Okay.
So there's a lot of water in this ice. You see the dark stuff here is pretty thin, but the further stuff out, the whiter stuff out there is a little thicker. It's probably about at least 2 inches anyways, 2-3 inches. Once you don't have any more, or if you don't have a young or old ice, you end up with more stuff like this, with young ice and more movement of ice. It don't take much for the wind and the current to take the ice out. We had a big north wind a few days ago, and it blew all the ice out. And this was all open water until it just just kept freezing. This is the outcome of after 3 days. It makes it kind of unpredictable for traveling out in the ice. I guess it's just more or less adapting to a new way of ice conditions. Not like we're not really familiar with this style of ice, but I mean we know this. We run into this kind, but it's just so close to shore. That's all. Especially here.
In the last few years here, there have been people drifted out on the ice because of the winds and the currents. We really have to watch what we're doing here because the ice is not as thick as it used to be. What we used to see around here is some multi-year ice mixed with some of the ice that's frozen like this year, but you don't see so much multi-year ice around anymore.
What we're standing on here is multi-year ice. Just a big chunk. It's probably it's more than probably 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, whatever. This is the stuff that that's been, I guess, building over the years. This ice probably came from east. We've been getting multi-year ice this past summer since August from the east, and I'm pretty sure it's coming down through the Prince of Wales Strait, and this is where it's been grounded since last freeze up. I guess global warming's been breaking up this ice. It's multi-year ice, and this is actually what keeps ice stable, multi-year ice. And if you don't have multi-year ice, you end up with ice that's not so secure. This used to be quite normal long ago. Like, it wasn't multi-year ice all over, but we had multi-year ice all the time, like long ago. If we don't have this thick ice here, we end up with this kind of conditions. Open water all the time.
No seal, nothing. No bearded seal.
There's no ice out there. You can't get seals from a boat. Long ago we used to have ice floes whole summer. No, how many summers no ice like this? Really, really sad. It's really no good
Yeah.
for hunting.
It used to be ice right up to
Yeah,
September.
we used to have ice floes whole summer. As soon as it's come a little bit, we would go there and go on top the ice and wait for seals on top the ice. Now how many summers we never have ice? It's very sad. I think all the ice will start melting.
This summer I was saying the ice must all melt, that's why no more ice. Well, if you keep melting the ice, maybe less seals every summer.
It could be.
Yeah, it
Because
could be.
lots of people said ice melt too fast and the mothers start leaving the babies behind and they starve. That's what some people were saying.
And we always feel happy when we see ice because the ice is bringing the seals from the north.
Who we are as Inuit are defined by a number of characteristics, including your culture, your language, your oral tradition, your geography, your laws. And when one of those traditional characteristics, such as the ice going away and not coming back in the summertime, it affects what you eat. It affects your soul as a people.
We've been seeing a lot of different animals and everything here. Like in the last few years, we've been getting a lot of salmon, and we even one of the residents here even found a flounderfish. Okay. He found that in his fishing net just along the bay down here, and my grandpa still has that in his freezer. But they said a lot of people around town said it's the first time they've ever seen one of those.
It tells us that the weather is getting warmer. It's quite noticeable over the last few years, more so than it has been in the 60s, 50s, 60s. And even as far as 70s, it wasn't this warm. In the last 5 years or so, the land has been eroding quite a bit. The freeze-ups are later. Like, last year, it must have been about a month and a half to 2 months later freeze-up. The winds are a lot stronger in the fall, like gale force winds. There is some thunderstorms, but I haven't seen any this year. Last year there might have been one or two, but there are a few thunderstorms. Yeah. They're quite unusual for up here. If you're out in the land in the thunderstorm, you'll hear the thunder, and muskox will jump, and they wouldn't know which way to go. You know, each time you hear a thunder, they'll run one way and then run back, and they just don't know what to do.
The warmer weather has begun to alter the look and shape of what has always been familiar to us, the land. Our shoreline is disappearing. Sachs Harbor is built on ground that is permanently frozen. Most of the island is covered by this permafrost.
Parts of our land, like in the middle of the island, they sink from the permafrost melting. The whole coast, like all the permafrost is melting on the coast, and there's mudslides covering trails to go to certain camp areas. Yeah, there's certain places and certain areas that you can't get around that are really bad. It's just mostly erosion and melting of the permafrost. The regular trails that we take to our campsites, a lot of those trails are out of use because of the erosion. The trails are so close to the lakes and the hills and everything, they start eroding. And one of my aunties went traveling up north last summer, close to, or I'm pretty sure they're going to Sea Otter. It's up on the northwest end of the island, and on her way there, she on her regular trail there, she was traveling, and part of the island, the permafrost was melted right in, like, it's just about not right in the middle of the island. It is not close to the shoreline and everything where all the usual permafrost is melting. That was a little strange to hear about. Other people that have been traveling have been telling me that they've seen muskox stuck in mudslides, and like you can tell that the muskox have been sitting there for like maybe 2 years or something. My hopes that I have with my Coastal Zone Changes slideshow is that and when I first made it, I didn't really have any hopes. I just wanted to make it and show DFO and FJMC what's been happening around the island and how it's been affecting our animal population and the way that we live and everything.
Pieces of the bluff fall off every year after winter, and rain eats away at it every summer. It is the reason I am scared of heights, because it is approximately 150 feet high and straight down. When I was younger, the bottom of the bluff stuck out more than the top. Nowadays, you can stand underneath the ledge. This change happened within 13 years. We used to be able to travel to Kellett Point by beach in the beginning of summer. Nowadays, we have to wait until the middle of summer to travel by there. That way, all the ice is gone and the mudslides have dried up. But those are not the only things stopping us. There are small pits in the gravel from the ice, the dark holes there. Other than going to Keller Point by boat, the beach is the fastest way there. This used to be our old Canada Day celebration area, but the road and the picnic area are all sinking. Also, another thing, we used to have grass in that area. Water flowing down from the hills into the ocean is the cause of the road dropping. It drops more and more each year. The roads in the bluff are not the only ones falling. Our hills are too. Each year we lose roughly about 1 to 5 feet along the coast, depending on rainfall and heat. After a certain amount falls from the hill, you begin to see permafrost coming out. Then the permafrost melts and causes the hills to drop more. When I was younger, all that I saw on the sides of these hills were grass mountains sliding slowly. But now all you can see is the mudslides and permafrost. They go all around our island. Some mudslides even create tiny waterfalls. When I was younger, my parents would take my family and I along the coast in a boat to see hawk nests and falcon nests along the hills. Nowadays, there are less of the birds along there because of the erosion that is happening. Each year these hills are sliding, and it's not mudslides, but sandslides. Water flows in between them, causing cracks. And that is how sandslides are caused. The slides fill in the cracks made and causes the hills to become steeper or smaller. Each hill was approximately 150 to 200 feet high and is approximately losing 10 feet each year off the top and sides. The hills shown are the ones hawks and falcons nest on. They're the ones we used to stop and see when I was younger.
Within the last 4 to 5 years, it's been the most noticeable because, like, everywhere you go, you can notice it. There's changes in the animals in the land. There's like less caribou, less wolves. I know it may not seem like a big change to other people around the world because it's just in such a small area, but within such a small area, you can notice it, like if you've been living here long enough. And it's just a little sad seeing all your animals go, and I get scared. Just the thought of all the island falling apart and like slowly crumbling pretty much. And from what I've been watching on the news and hearing from other people around the north is that people down south don't really think that global warming is happening. I think from this last winter, they got a little gist of it themselves. Like, it's been colder down south all winter than it has been up here. And that's really, really strange because they're freezing their butts off and we're sitting here nice and toasty. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like a lot of them take to thought that this is actually happening. And if we could like get them to understand that it's happening in such a small area, that it is happening in their areas, it's just so much more unnoticeable because they've got buildings and factories and streets and concrete to like cover it all up, eh? We can't do that stuff up here because of the permafrost that melts underneath the ground. once it shifts, then we'll have to repair everything concrete anyways. And I don't know, it's just a little disturbing knowing that they're walking around thinking the world is all right and we're up here living like there's going to be no tomorrow. But I think it's just mainly money that's getting to them. The more they make, the more they produce, the more money that they come or they get in. And money's what makes the world go round. Yeah. That's not true. So not true if you live up here in the north. I'd say for the people in the north, money is on their mind, but it's one of the last things on their mind. Up here, it's the agriculture, the elders, the youth, mainly our culture. Like, that's what we live for. Yeah, traditional values and language is one thing that keeps us going. It's a little ticklish thinking about maybe 30 to 50 years down the road, we're gonna have to leave the island and like we could probably never come back here, and it's gonna be really strange for a lot of people because they've lived here their whole lives. It's what they depended on is coming back home and being on their land. Like it's just relaxing to be here and everything, and like you're home, and it's yeah, it's comforting to know it's here, but it's just very disturbing knowing within the next, let's just say 100 years, that it will be gone. It's all our memories and traditions and the gatherings that we had here is just going to be weird because it's not going to be happening anymore.